What is going on, guys? This is Daniel, and if you're thinking this is just an excuse to get up a Spurs video, you're absolutely correct. I haven't done a Spurs video since the finals and it's stressing me out. But in all seriousness, I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at the Spurs' first title with Tim Duncan in 1999 just to see how their offense has changed over time. The game I watched and where the clips are from is Game 5 of the NBA Finals against the Knicks, so let's get to it. 15 years earlier, the Spurs were still led by Tim Duncan. They also had David Robinson, a Hall of Fame center, Avery Johnson, and Sean Elliott. That was their core. And of course, Greg Popovich was their head coach. And what do you know, first play of the game, they run motion weak, which starts with a point guard to wing pass. Then the wing will hit the trailer big man. The opposite wing and the point guard will cross paths, and the point guard will receive the pass from up top. Then the low big man, in this case David Robinson, will receive a cross screen in the lane for good post position. And watch the Knicks double the post one pass away off of Avery Johnson because he isn't a good shooter, and because of that messes up the post up and they end up taking a bad shot. Not quite motion weak, but similar stuff, as the wing will first cross screen for the big man, and then he'll receive some screen to screen or screen to the top, a down screen. Here they get Robinson in the post, but he just can't get it to go. The same screen to screener action, and here again they get it to Robinson in the low post, and when he's doubled, he moves the ball well, and they get Mario Ellie, a decent shooting guard, a wide open three-pointer. Same play again, but this time Johnson turns it over trying to get it to Robinson. And I got excited for a second as this looked like motion strong where there will be a double staggered screen for the wing in the corner, but I think they were just moving the ball. It just happened to be in the same formation. They get it to Duncan and they move the ball well and get a foul. In terms of screen and rolls, the Spurs were shut down most of the game thanks to some great ice defense by New York. Ice is where the ball handler will force the player away from the screen while the big man sags to contain the drive, and the goal is to force inefficient long jumpers, and that's what they do here even though Duncan makes it. Besides using dribble handoffs, the best way to beat ice is to have a big man who can really stretch the floor out to the three-point line, which Duncan can't do. Nice stuff here. After the screen and roll is contained, Duncan ducks in for good post position and he scores. Watch what happens when New York tries to hedge the pick and roll. Duncan's man gets way out of position, the weak side help is slow, and Duncan gets a layup. Here, good shooting guard Jaren Jackson sets the screen, and New York tries to hedge this, but with only 5 seconds on the shot clock, and Jackson being a good shooter, they should switch this. They don't. Jackson pops and hits a 3. Now let's get to post-ups, and here New York doubles off Mario Elliott, a good shooting guard. He just can't get it to go. New York doubles Duncan here again, and pretty solid rotational defense when Duncan passes it out, but better ball movement, and they get a foul. New York often used Avery Johnson's man to double the post, a smart move because Johnson isn't a good shooter, and here he misses a long 2. But doubling off Ellie, especially one pass away, is not smart because he can hit these shots. But like mentioned, doubling off Johnson was a very smart idea as it often forced very tough shots. But here, give Johnson a lot of credit because he knows they're about to double off of him, so he cuts backdoor for a layup. But it was only fitting Johnson would hit the game winner after they doubled Duncan off of him. A few times, Duncan and Robinson went into their post move right away, right before the double came. And here, Duncan is still able to hit a nice shot with a few nicks all over him. Here they run a single double for Sean Elliott, where he'll have an option to use the double screen or the single screen. Here he chooses the single screen. Duncan sets a bad screen negating that part of the play, but they can still get it to Duncan in the post where he can score. And even when New York timed their double team perfectly, forcing very tough shots, Duncan was able to hit these because he is Tim Duncan. Here New York denies the entry pass and squeezes him from behind with Robinson's man, which negates the post up. What I would have liked to seen Robinson do is go to the high post, clearing out his man. This would allow for a direct over the top pass to Duncan, or they can pass to Robinson at the high post, who can go high-low with Duncan. Watch the current Spurs send Splitter to the high post, freeing up space for Duncan. And here they hit Splitter at the high post, who goes high-low to Duncan. Horns is an offensive set with 2 men at the high post, 2 wings in the corner, and the point guard having the ball up top. Here San Antonio runs it, but Johnson picks up his dribble instead of attacking, and when they get into their triangle, Johnson throws it away. Again, they run the horn screen and roll, and they eventually get into a sideline pick and roll, where a Nick can help one pass away off Avery Johnson, forcing a turnover. Again, the Knicks help off Johnson, a non-offensive threat. But I don't want to sound like I'm hating on Johnson, because he was an excellent passer and a solid point guard. He'd make the easy pass, like finding the open man in transition. A great example of the easy pass, as no one picks up Jaren Jackson, a very good shooter, and he drains it. And I may say easy, but these aren't easy passes. Smart is probably a better word. Well, there you have it, guys. The 99 offense wasn't filled with plays like the loop and hammer, which has people like me salivating, but it fit their personnel. They got it into their big man Duncan and Robinson early and often, and that's what worked, and they won the finals in 5 games. Later, they didn't have a peak Duncan or Robinson, so they couldn't throw it in the post every play. They had more perimeter-oriented players like Ginobili and Parker, so Coach Pop implemented a more balanced offense. For their personnel in 99, it was a great offensive system to just try to get Duncan and Robinson the ball as many times as they could, and later, as the years evolved, the Spurs also added more plays, which made it just that much tougher to defend.